So we got earnings coming up in just a few days. Could we see a surprise profit? Well, NIO CEO did say recently that they made a surprise profit of 100 million RMB thanks to reducing incentives and prioritizing margin. But that, unfortunately, was for October, and October falls in Q4 and not Q3. But what can we expect from earnings going forward in just about 3 days? So, well, there's lots of things to cover. First of all, we know for Q2, NIO had 2.4 billion US dollars in total revenue. And for Q3, analysts are expecting 2.7 billion US dollars in total revenue. What's really interesting is that if you look at deliveries, right, in Q2 they delivered 57,373, and then in Q3 61,855. So more deliveries in Q3 than Q2 by about 4,482 deliveries, or 7.8% increase quarter over quarter. Now, if you directly increase the total revenue by 7.8%, right, assuming that, it's correlated, then what you get, 2.4 billion plus an additional 7.8%, you get 2.587 billion. That seems a little bit off compared to what analysts are expecting at 2.7. So 2.587 versus 2.7 expected. So there is a potential that we might miss analyst expectations because the analysts are expecting way more than what the delivery growth proportionally suggests, if you're getting what I mean. But I guess more importantly, what we should be looking at is, of course, money being spent. All right, the losses, where NIO is spending money. Of course, that composes of two important parts, the R&D and SG&A. NIO CEO has been adamant about the fact that R&D will remain pretty much stable. All right, they're going to spend like about 300 to 700 million US dollars in R&D per quarter, around that amount. Okay, so it's not going to fluctuate like way too much. You're not going to see R&D all of a sudden drop to 100 million, or you're not going to see R&D all of a sudden go up to like way higher than that. Okay, so it's probably going to be around 500 million US dollars in R&D. And of course, they've been working on a lot of stuff. All right, but SG&A is very interesting. Of course, selling, general, and administrative costs. R&D in Q2 was 442 million, and SG&A in Q2 was $517 million. Now, I think R&D will pretty much be stable around the same in Q3, but SG&A could actually potentially increase. Why is that the case? Well, it all has to do with Anvil. Like in Q3, right, we got July, August, and September. This is when they started ramping up store deployment for Anvil brand, for the Anvil brand. And this is when they started mass hiring a lot of Anvil sales reps, with a lot of stores opening in September, right? So in this period of time, there's big expansion happening for Anvil. They're building hundreds of stores in China. So that could potentially drive up the cost significantly of SG&A, right? They're paying these sales reps salaries, and they're, building the Anvil stores, etc. And of course, not to mention, they have to buy all the materials and supplies to sort of start production of the Anvil cars. That's when they started production of the Anvil cars. So SG&A could possibly even increase a little bit. And that could suggest that we could be looking at some higher losses than what we were normally expecting. So it is pretty much a given that revenue will be the best quarterly revenue ever. It'll be the highest record quarterly revenue. We can put our hats down and guarantee that that's going to happen. The losses, that's where it gets tricky, okay? And of course, going forward, I think even though this quarter we might be printing out a pretty significant loss, I think Q4, with October being profitable, like they made some profit according to the CEO, and then November and December will probably follow that trend with NIO not making that many losses by incentivizing car sales, and then also Onvo with healthy margins, and Onvo really selling more cars with good margins. That's really changing the picture. Okay, so what we could see with this earnings is maybe a kind of a shocker in terms of the money spent on R&D plus SG&A, but they might give out very positive bullish guidance for Q4. They might talk about how they made a little bit of profit in October, and then they expect November and December to be the same, and that further solidifies the fact that when we see Q4 earnings, right, later on in about maybe March or February, then we could potentially see fantastic results. And that, I think Q4 earnings is going to be a big shocker that's going to just send the stock to astronomical levels, right? But we got to be logical about what they're doing. They are building Onvo stores. They started production of the Onvo cars in Q3. So they are spending a lot of money. And of course, the cars in Q3, NIO cars being sold in Q3, also heavily incentivized with lots of subsidies and freebies and all sorts of gift packages and all that kind of stuff. So here's my prediction, all right? I think Q4 earnings are going to be spectacular. I think guidance that they're going to come out with for Q4 is going to be spectacular. And if they give good guidance, that's going to send the stock soaring. But I think the losses that are going to be printed from the SG&A cost and R&D could potentially be a little bit of a shocker to some people. And that if they don't come out with guidance and they say nothing about Q4, then that could potentially hurt the stock. All right, they really got to give out guidance and let everybody know, hey, October we made some profit, man. They got to let everybody know that. So that's my view on it. And I think 2.7 billion in expected revenue from analysts, that's going to be a long shot. That's going to be a little bit out there, and it's going to be sort of like a half-court shot almost. It's going to be a little bit difficult to reach that, I think. Okay, but I'm very optimistic. I hope that they can reach it. I hope they can beat it. But just from the increase in car sales, they're kind of maybe like a billion, 100 million, my bad, 100 million off US dollars from that. So kind of gotta keep your expectations in check, guys. All right, gotta keep your expectations in check. But I still believe that we are actually on the brink of being profitable, according to the CEO. So very nice, very nice. Blue sky's coming. Blue sky's coming. The future is going to be very great. I'm super looking forward to the guidance and what they're going to say for Q4. That's going to be nice. And then hopefully they can deliver, and hopefully maybe we get the first ever profitable quarter for Q4. Maybe. All right, we'll have to see. As always, stay safe, stay healthy. Peace out.